Good morning students. Today I shall discuss question number 12 in page number 134 of your book. The chapter number is 5 and the chapter name is A Revision Tour to MySQL. Now consider the question number 12 in your book. It says what will be the output of the following SQL statements. That means for each of these SQL statements I have to determine the output. Now let's start with the first SQL statement. It says select lower of RAM where the string RAM is within quotation. Now using this lower function I shall be able to convert the string RAM which is in capital letter into the small letter format. So upon executing this query I can see the string RAM which was in capital letter getting displayed as small letter under the column lower of RAM in the output. Now let's verify this SQL query in MySQL Workbench. So let me click on here, that is local instance MySQL 56, and I shall type the password SQL123 for the user root. Let me click this OK button. So this gives me access to the SQL workspace. So in this workspace I am going to type this SQL command, that is select lower of RAM. So let me type select and then I shall type the lower function, put the argument as the string RAM in capital letter and the string shall be within quotation. Now if I execute this SQL statement I can see that in the output window under the column lower of RAM I can see the string RAM in small letters. So I hope you understood this query. So have a look at the query and then the output. So you can clearly see that this lower function has converted the string RAM which was in capital letter into the small letter format, and this can be seen in the output window. Now let's solve the next query. It says select power of 2, 10. Now this power function here, it's going to multiply the digit 2 10 times. Okay, so when we multiply the digit 2 10 times like this, then we get the result 1024. You can try it out in your calculator. So that's why upon executing this query in the output window under the power of 2, 10 column I can see the value 1024, and this value is the multiplication of the digit 2 10 times. Now let me test this query in MySQL Workbench. So let me write select power of 2, 10 and then put a semicolon to end this statement. Now let me execute this query. So here it is. In the output window under the column power of 2, 10 I can see the value 1024. Now let's solve the next query. It says select mid of the string Sri Ganesh, 1, 3. Now see the second digit. The second digit 1 here indicates that I have to start with the first letter of the string Sri Ganesh, and the first letter is S here. Now after starting with the first letter S, then I shall see the next argument 3. Now 3 here indicates that starting from the first letter S, I have to extract 3 more letters from the string called Sri Ganesh, and when I will extract 3 more letters starting with the first letter S, this gives me S, R and I. So under the output window in the column mid of Sri Ganesh 1, 3 I can see the value 3. So I hope you understood how this mid function works. So in this way the mid function extracts the part of a string. In this case from the string Sri Ganesh it has extracted SRI, that is Sri. Now let me show you in MySQL Workbench. So I shall modify the select statement as select mid of Sri Ganesh, which is the string within quotation, and then I shall put the second argument as 1 and the third argument as 3. So here is the SQL statement, that is select mid of Sri Ganesh 1, 3. Now let me check whether I get the output as Sri or not. So for that, let me click this flash button. So this is the output. The result of the mid function Sri Ganesh 1, 3 is Sri. So as a result, starting from the first letter S, it has extracted 3 letters, which gives S, R and I, that is Sri, as the output. So just have a look at this query and the output for a while. Now let's come to the next query, which says select LPAD of 120, 0, 5. Now if you see this LPAD function, the second argument 0 is enclosed within quotation. So this has become a character. Now for the LPAD function to work properly, the second argument cannot be a character. So you have to put digits such as 5, 9, 8, 7 or whatever. It can be any digit, but you cannot put those digits within quotation. Okay, so in this case, since the LPAD function takes 7 as the second argument, and since that digit is not enclosed within quotation, so this LPAD function shall work properly. But in our case, the second argument was the digit 0 that was enclosed within quotation. As a result, the second argument has now become a character. And when the second argument becomes a character, the LPAD function fails to determine the output, and that's why we get the result as no output. Now let me test this SQL query in MySQL Workbench. So let's copy it out here. Now I have to put the appropriate quotations, okay, that will enclose the digit 0 so that it becomes a character. Now here is the SQL query, that is select LPAD of 120, 0, 5, where the second argument 0 being enclosed within quotation becomes a character. Now this SQL query will fail to determine the output. So let's execute this query. Now as you can see in the output window, this column, that is LPAD 120, 0, 5, has failed to determine the output as indicated by the blank here in this field. As a result, this column LPAD 120, 0, 5 shows no value. So I hope you understood how the LPAD function works, and in this case, even though we use the select query for the LPAD function with arguments 120, 0, 5, it fails to determine the output as the second argument has become a character. And with this I end my presentation here.